Yes. Sorry. No contradiction.
No, I don't find.
It was for me in my story what I said. In my story, I saw a limitation, but for others,
you were caught in that.
Well, I was feeling, yes, but that was my click also for me. So clicks, I don't need to wait for that, because maybe it was, there is nothing wrong with what happened, and to have done this self-inquiry, I went as far as I could to see that I don't need it.
But that's the insight, because even Ramana said it's someone asked him. He said it's the ego doing self-inquiry. The self doesn't need inquiry.
Yes, but then, so there is no good or bad. I don't say anybody or him. But it was for me. Yes, no, even I don't need that. What I am. It may be used sometime, but yes.
But Ramana only gave self-inquiry to people who couldn't, just get it, or if he gave some indication, or
exactly.
Just his presence.
Exactly.
Only after that he would suggest ask who.
Yes. Yes. But for example, when I went to Carl, straight away, I thought it was direct. Carl Renz, it was direct. So it is a difference. Still it was like not, it was still, like any tradition, Christianity or this, speak like this. If you are good or do good, you will reach heaven. If you practice meditation, you may be enlightened. Always postponing in time. And this, for me, was still postponing in time. But somebody tell me, you don't need even that straight away. Then, yes, it's more direct.
If we get it, but then there's vasana tendency, the habit of identifying, which there's nothing there, but the habit has to somehow ease off, and maybe for someone at a certain point they can just click.
But for me, they don't need to be dissolved. That's also what I see now. I had this question too.
But it's not the vasanas that have to dissolve; it's the tendency to identify.
Yes, but once you are clear about what you are, there is no word to express that, but then you don't mind there is vasana or no vasana. Right. I had this question, I asked this to Ganga also, Ganga Mira. She said, no, I don't, like I say. But because I told her, I read Ramana, said, maybe you need all your vasana to be done, to be enlightened. But there is so much translation, interpretation, we don't really know what Rama said. It was translated in English, and through the mind interpretation. So I would not. Now I'm very careful about books and this, right? So for me, my actual experience is what I am does not need even the I to go or vasanas to go. They may go or not, but it's not my business anymore because I see it's in the dream. Even the disappearance of the vasanas. Or the I, but it's an illusion of I, but the sense of I, my business.
So how long since that clarity clicked for you? Since when it clicked?
I had several, but one was 2 years ago when it was like after I went to see Mujis and Ganga Mira, and that in Rishikesh 2 years ago, and at that time, like I see that samsara and nirvana, I saw samsara as like this, but it's like some insight. Many people have some insight or kind of awakenings, micro awakening or something like that. But afterwards, the mind is coming back and this and so on. But there have been a number of them, and also, this one I told you about self-inquiry, I just saw, it's like click. I don't need that. What I am does not need that. Right. But it's not mental. It's like a click. And then number of other click, I went to Carl Renz afterwards, and now it's like I am that, and what you don't need to catch any beliefs, thought that you are not, and that's it, like Ramana said. And then and then it came that because I talk to people mostly every day, individually, or I meet people like that. So I felt I'd rather meet in small group like this, and like we speak in coffee or anywhere like that. No difference? Yes. But it does not feel like there is the idea of someone awakened, then I don't buy that. The zero is always zero. And the one, as a hamster, will always turn around in the wheel and he will never get out. So it's better to call this as Yogiram a beggar or a devil. This one is the worst devil. He created all other devils, the first one. And everyone is the first one, right? And everyone want to kill or make other one behave as they like or disappear, or because this is the devil, right? So if you acknowledge yourself, the one, as a beggar, then how can you call it enlightenment or somebody who has no ego or awakened one? No, what you are doesn't mind that whatever. And many people, even I think Ramana said like that also, that it can come in a robber or a person who has been practicing for many years. There is no condition. So you may have been practicing for. Usually, I feel it's a tendency that I've been doing a lot of meditation myself, and I know not only this lifetime. So mostly this tendency that you practice, and you see that nothing works. And when you see that nothing works, then you realize you are here already. But you have to kind of go to the ultimate failure. So you have to kind of tiring the mind and the habit of wanting to reach something, or the tendency to reach something, to gain something. But any intention keeps you any movement, because time and space is movement, right? I is movement, the first movement. But prior to I, no time and space, no movement. What you are is not moving, because there is no space to move in zero. So if you see the tendency, as I put, not on this one, but on the other flyer, the tendency to, when the tendency of avoidance is seen, then fear is met in the fearlessness of the eternity that you are. It means, I don't know, you got it? Yes. So, because fear, we are running away all the time from being here, from this fear. But if you stop running by seeing the tendency of avoiding, then you are from the zero, the absolute, the fearlessness, then you can look to the fear and the worst devil eye to eye without trying to escape, without trying also to make him go. Because the tendency of the mind is pull and push and pull, movement, right? Zero has no movement, but once the one is coming out, then there is push and pull. So if you want to heal any vasana, for example, because I had this question many years also, what to do with these vasanas, about therapy and this and that. So sometimes in therapy you say go back into this or that, work on it, this. But you go again in the movement, then you entertain the idea that you have to heal something, right? But if you stay as yourself, but whatever comes, any emotion, sadness, anger, joy, whatever, or any vasana experience, or you don't neither pull or push. You just stay here. Neither pull or push. That is the difference with the Osho stuff and other any kind like this. You try to heal something. It may happen. For me, it happens sometimes. My body shakes to release because I do some massage, some stuff sometimes. Or like this afternoon, it happened a little bit. It happened by itself, but not an intention to release something, and you go into the idea that you need to heal yourself. It's just you don't move. It happens by itself. No, you don't go. You don't follow the movement of body-mind. Like I was telling them yesterday, my last guru, who is still alive, of Saint Mat, told me, You have done many things in this past life, in this life. What if from today you say, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything. I let the body-mind do whatever, but I'm done, I stay here. And here mean, like Papaji say, here mean that. I'm here, I don't need to go anywhere, I've never been anywhere, I will never go anywhere as zero. And I see the one and I don't mind. So sometimes there is a one, sometimes many ones, sometimes this, that, but I don't mind. I want, even if I dream that I leave the zero, when I come back, fine.
Does it happen often to dream that you leave the zero? Does it still happen sometimes?
For me? It's not in time. It's difficult, but I don't know how to reply to that, because for me it is
but to get caught up in identification as a one, and
yeah,
to feel that you've lost. Oh, I've lost a zero, and then you.
No, lost the zero. No.
I mean, the zero can never be lost. It's always.
Yes, but you can lose awareness maybe. Right. But for me, it's more like mostly it's like not losing that. It's like there is. It is there, right? It is here. But kind of going into identification, yes, it can happen. But I have no problem with that. And that's also what Carl said. I'm totally on his line. You know, the difference. Cesar was going to town. He said, if you go to town, this is a real satsang, because you will test your eye. Self-inquiry, right? Mm-hmm. Carl said, I don't mind saying fuck, this, warning, and saying, wait.
I don't know.
To be fully yourself. If a guy drive well and or whatever, you know, to be absolutely relative. You don't mind being in the I am the bodiness, or in the I amness, or in awareness. There is no preference. Then this is like for me the natural state. You're trying to maintain. You might do self-inquiry, but not with the idea that it will lead you somewhere. Just to take paracetamol. You have a headache. Your attention is scattered, you do self-inquiry, like a paracetamol, but not with the intention that it will free you from samsara or something like that. That is for me how I see it.
But self-inquiry, as I understand it, is to bring attention to the one, to the I thought, and then in that attention, it's just seen that it's not real.
Yes, as a phantom.
It's a phantom.
So the more you do it, the more you see as a phantom. So it is, let's say, for this purpose, and you don't need to fight with it, because you see that if you fight, that you want him to disappear, then. But if you see it as a phantom, it's enough, right? But another purpose of such self-inquiry, or any practice. Any meditation is the main purpose is to bring attention from the object to the subject, because attention is scattered. So you pull the string of attention to the subject. That's another aspect of any practice, including self-inquiry. So attention is centered here. But then what you do with the center, with this eye, this is the last practice, which will not work. Except that you will see that you don't need it. But at least your attention is there. And the eye is fading away, or you see that it's a phantom. But after, either there is a kind of maintenance which can be fake, or you don't mind. I prefer to be on that side and not minding whatever. I don't want to wait, because I've been raised as a Christian. I don't want to wait for heaven. And it's so powerful when you are really this awareness. I am that now, not mentally. Then yes.
So is it like that? Like in the daily life, before you're fully aware, you are already the zero. Like you're still the one every day. So no matter what happened, then you just go back to the center and think.
To the one.
Yeah, the one you think who is doing those things, actually this I, you think it's I'm doing that, but actually that's a phantom.
Yes,
There's
it's
no
an illusion
real
of free
I.
will, right?
Yeah.
Illusion of free
So
will.
that's an illusion. Yeah. But then before like enlightened, like you are already in the zero, then we still need to be with this one every day, just practice and practice. To
Practice
see.
and practice.
Yeah. But during this
But
time,
you need to practice 0 or 1.
the one.
Yes,
The one needs
it's
to be
clear
practiced.
for you.
Yeah. The one is clear.
Then that's enough.
Yeah. So, my question is, and then in daily life, you still need to make some choice. That that probably either A or B, no matter what, it's all phantom. But you still need to make the choice. So at that time, sometimes you want to do it with your efforts or without effort, and the result will be different. So how to make the choice? But you know it's a phantom, but still you want to do the things in a better way. So how to deal with this kind of thinking? Because if I think, oh, that doesn't matter, just phantom, then I do it in the lazy way, then I will feel guilty. And I know that's also this I is doing, but I just want to get some advice how to see this philosophy.
How to deal with it.
Yeah.
If you see as a movie where everything is happening by itself, even any thought, even this question is within the movie, right? You cannot avoid asking me this question. Do you have a choice to ask me this?
Maybe not.
Maybe not, you see? So if you have no choice, it's the same for other decision. For the one is appearing to be real, right? The free will also appears to be real. But what is appearing to be real doesn't mean it is real. The assumption is the mistake. What appears to be real is not necessarily real. So question it. Is it real? So while you are in the process of decision making, this is a very good time to do self-inquiry. Bring your string back, the light of awareness towards the eye. And it's like you were in a room and you, like a spy, and you spy the eye. How he feel, how he behave, what is his sensing during the process of decision, and spy the eye.
So you just use your intuition.
Sorry?
Just use your intuition.
No, just watch. Just be in a seeing without a seer. In this seeing, and you look at that eye. How is all this process of thought, questioning, am I doing the right choice, or do I have free will? Watch this independently. Don't take part of the... If you go into it, as I was saying the other day, if you have a cloth, like thought is like a cloth. But if you don't catch it, the clothes is going there. A shirt, for example. But if you catch it and put it on and you say, I. This is what you're doing now. You're going into the shirt, you're taking the thought and saying, I, to ask me the question, right? But if you don't do that when you are in a process of making a decision, you don't take the clothes. You watch the process, but you don't need to say, put the I inside.
So I don't put the I inside, then the choice will be made.
But it's all happening by, if you really see that free will is an illusion, because if no I, no free will. If you really see that I is seen as a phantom, then you, at the same time, simultaneously, you see that it's an illusion of free will, so it's an illusion of making choice. They are made by themselves. Then you have no question, you don't mind, you cannot do mistake. Another nice thing my last guru said, he said, I asked him some years back, please tell me if I do some mistake in meditation or whatever. And he just laughed and laughed. He said, there is no mistake. There is no mistake. So you cannot do a wrong choice. Relatively, yes.
You mean it doesn't matter, just choose
It doesn't
one.
matter because
when it's done, that's the right choice.
It makes your life more simple because you don't mind so much. Otherwise, you think too much. should make the right choice. But when you have this awareness, you don't mind your choice or quick.
Doesn't matter.
More quick because, or you watch them. If it's not the right timing, you're aware that it's sometimes impatience, right? Because you want the choice to be made now. But it's not the right timing. Universe has programmed this in a different way. So just wait, watch and see, and the decision will be made by itself. So it's a meditation. So meditation is not just close eyes, is when this is the best, not the best, anytime, but making decision process is a very special time. I've been doing that a lot. Since a long time I was watching the process. Sometimes in a room you don't know if you will leave, make your backpack or what will happen. And you see suddenly the body is moving and say, oh, it seems it's happening. So you watch, and the tendency, the sense of being the doer will fade. Fade. And then you will see, oh, there is an appearance of being a doer, but the sense is it's happening. It's like that. So the decision is happening. But even if sometimes you lose yourself, you're caught up more in the decision or something, identification. This is what I do also. If it happens, then when you come back, it's like you dreamed and you don't judge yourself. That's all. Oh, I dreamed, but I did not move. And that makes things very easy. You don't have to worry, to be guilty of anything. I've been dreaming, and so what? It does not make any difference for zero, for the self. Whether the one is dreaming or not, no difference. Then you dream or not dream, you are here. You see? Everything becomes more and more and more simple.
That's good.
Then you don't need to carry anything. You know, there is a story in India, in a train, there is a guy who is having his suitcase on his head like that. Mm-hmm. And his neighbor said, why are you carrying your suitcase? This is my suitcase. It's my suitcase. But if you put it on the train, it will not make any difference for the train. He said, no, but this is my suitcase. I don't know what. But then he understood that if you put the suitcase on the train, the weight is the same. And that's what we do. We take on our eye responsibility or guiltiness or whatever it is. But for everything is God's will. So whether we add an illusory will or not, it does not change anything for God's will. So it's better to surrender, to not taking anything on your shoulder, and you don't mind.
But
so it's coming to bhakti, same.
Is it okay if I just do this while you're talking? Yeah?
And I think that's really why we need a guru, because that needs the faith. Otherwise, the faith, this what you said is true. Yeah. Otherwise, what is wrong? then what will happen? But with my own power or strength, I don't have that faith yet.
Faith?
Yeah.
No,
but
but
believe.
You don't have that faith, but you are that already. Is that not enough?
They have to trust you.
Sorry?
I have to trust you.
No, you don't have to trust
that.
you. You don't have to listen that thought. I have to trust you. Do you have to trust me to be that? Yes or not?
I haven't experienced.
Sorry?
I haven't experienced.
Now you catch another thought. I have not experienced it. Is that true?
That's the doubt is always there.
Sorry?
The doubt.
Yes. So watch a doubter. Watch a doubter. This is self-inquiry.
My doubt is all this is just a theory.
What
there's
is
other
theory?
theory.
What is theory?
1 and 0.
For you, it's a theory. Yes.
It's very. I really think that's really a good theory, but still, I need to completely trust it.
Yes, but for that, you need now, from where you are, to do only one thing: to not grasp any thought like that. I need to experience it. As long as you grasp that thought like a cloth, and you put it on, you put your eye into it, and you confirm the existence of the thought. You give him the power to the thought, right? So when you stop giving power to your thought, that's enough. Do you understand how you give power to the mind? By identification, going into it and saying I, you give power to it. But when you stop taking it, grasping it, what is left? When you don't grasp this thought, where are you? Where are you when you don't grasp the thought that I need to make the experience that I am that? When you don't grasp that thought, where are you?
Nowhere.
What is left? Nowhere or here?
Nothing.
That's enough. That's as simple as that. But the mind does not like it because he wants whatever. Just to not grasp it is enough. You see, you stay like this. And like Papa G said, be quiet. Stay there. And whatever thought comes, you don't grasp. Is there any thought coming now?
Yeah.
So do you grasp them?
No.
No.
I'm thinking that needs practice. So if the one thought comes, then I have a self-inquiry. And
But-
then another one comes. So
Yes.
I need to do it for 3 years.
Yes,
Just like what you said before.
So it's like a practice, we can say,
Then
yes,
I will-
the last practice. Because this is for the one. Zero does not need this. Right? But for the one, this not grasping is the last practice, maybe.
So you do think like we need practice.
You, which you? Zero or one? Zero does not need practice.
One.
You're already perfect, right? But the one think he need practice because he's not still believing he need to go out, or he believe in the thought and he identify itself with the thought or the body mind. Only because of that he need to practice. So why not? For zero it does not make any difference if the one want to practice, if he want to do that. But for what you are, you don't need even to do that. So you can simultaneously have this awareness of being that, and at the same time let the one do his business to not grasp the thought. Can you do both simultaneously? Do you see that? And then what can happen to you? Anyway, you are here already. So it's just a game. Even the not grasping is just a game in the dream. You see how it works? Any thought come?
Have you practiced?
Sorry? I practice all the time. The one cannot stop practicing. But zero does no. So it depends. The one he will always be a beggar and always with inquiry for this eternal quest of the one, because it is part of the will. But you see it as a phantom. So the quest of the one is a phantom quest. But for what you are, you don't mind the one to have a phantom quest. You see? Because always it's made like that. But you see it as a lila of God, a game. So the one seeking, inquiring, this, needing to not grasp, and this is within the dream, it's not out. So it's all for the one. So you can receive it from 0 to 0. We speak 0 to 0, but we see from 0 to 0, we watch at the one together. You see? And seeing now that, it's easier, isn't it? Not? So is it a theory or is it a fact for you now?
Oh,
Huh? Sorry?
the zero is also listening,
Sorry?
and the one is also walking.
Can you
Me.
repeat? I could not
I said
understand.
the zero is also listening.
Yeah, but it's a listening without a listener, because zero is not. You say like this 0 to 0, but it's just maybe self-recognition. Like Ramana said, the self recognize itself, realize itself for itself, by itself, to itself, something like that. So it's self-recognition. It's not the one who recognizes zero, right? So any
Okay, so It's difficult. It's like a game of chess because, yesterday I couldn't ask you a question because I'm experiencing it as you say it. But when I leave here, it's the usual thing. Whereas being at a satsang, my experience is the space that is my self-awareness has gotten bigger. But pretty soon, as I'm trying to hold on to it, something comes up and the next problem or vasana is bigger than before. So I'm caught in that. And when I listen to you talking, it always sounds like you're taking time out. You're coming outside of the box. But then you're in another box. So purification.
Which box?
Well, a new one.
But describe it. You say I am in a new box, or?
Yeah, I say I'm in a new box because I'm in the zero. But then as it gets filled up, I suddenly became the one without noticing. Also, it's the same box actually.
But for me, zero is not another box. It's a non-space notion. Nothing can enter. It's the kingdom of God, where no mind can. Whatever you try to put in is like absolute nitty. Nothing can penetrate the zero-ness. So I know Carl sometimes speak differently about zero, but I speak like that. It's more simple for me, binary.
Yeah.
So it's not a state, it's a self, and it's always there. But that's true that for some time, it is said since long time, you may need the company of satsang for some time. And then I think today I was thinking about that. Thousands of satsang I have attended or watched since 25 years. Thousands of hours of meditation, satsang. And it's happening by itself. It's not a merit or anything. But by being in that space, the self realizes itself. But it's not by a doing. So I don't deny that the satsang can be in space, which you might need the company. But for the one, the zero, at the same time, from zero you can hear that you don't even need that. But because the one with his vasana tendencies might need the company of satsang as a support. It's like but sometimes you may not need.
But isn't there the temptation that some of the vasanas are that bad that you think, well, maybe I'll just purify myself, get rid of these ones, and then I can practice what you're saying.
What? To not grasp?
Yeah.
But this is practice is for the one again. If you can hear, there is, I was telling you yesterday, I think there is a ear, like Jesus said, the one who has the ear to listen. Listen if you have the ear, something. It's not the physical ear. So there is a zero ear which can hear, zero can hear itself. This is a click or whatever. So it's not this physical ear or the mind. You can come to satsang for many times and hear with the mind, and it's not heard yet. So there is a kind of nobody knows. There is no rules, but it's more like you cannot say anything much about that. And I would not call this awakening, because it makes again the idea that one can be awakened is very dangerous.
But if your experience in life is that you're usually in the zero without any problems, that's kind of like being awakened. Like most of these people that give satsang, they'll just be in the zero pretty much all the time, so they can kind of say they're...
No, everybody is in the zero. Is that important to not make that mistake?
Yeah.
To not say this one is more in the zero. No, everybody is zero or the self, right? From the beginning.
But they're subjective experience.
Yes, everybody. Even Ramana. His body was also subject to experience in the dream. Like this one, same. No difference. The self of Ramana, of Jesus, Buddha, yours, mine, it's the same self. It's not different self, not higher self or lower self. Only relatively. There is an ego and so on. But absolutely there is only one self, and we are always that. So, What is next?
Yeah, I don't know what's next. I don't really have any questions. Right?
You see, the mind is like starting to feel, seems there is no hope,
Yeah.
or there is no, because the mind tried to find to land somewhere,
Actually,
and now your mind is trying to see.
Actually, it is like a beggar asking you for change. It's like, no, he's not going to give me any.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you are does not need my help, right?
Mm.
And then the one start to see, oh my God, you see, and that's very good. What you are does not need any help, but the one may need support. Why not? This one too. I need tally or coffee or anything you do is a support for the dream. Was it self-inquiry or drinking coffee? It's all dreams.
So it's like in the dream, some pain is so real. So you just do it to heal it.
It doesn't
Even it's a
matter.
dream, yeah.
You have
But
no-
make you feel better.
Yes, if you see that you have no power on anything, really, from zero you see that the one is the free will is an illusion, then you don't mind healing or do that or that, but not just to make it more comfortable.
And
Like you take a shower like this, you do self-inquiry like a shower, same. But with the awareness that what you are does not need anything of that, it's just an appearance on the screen, and you are the screen and you don't mind any, on the movie, any shower, any ice cream, any self-inquiry, meditation, samadhi, highest awareness, you don't mind anything on the movie. But you are like the mother, I was telling you. Zero is like the mother seeing the one enjoying the show as it likes, but not minding the child, the one doing whatever, dreaming to be the highest saint or the worst robber. It's all dreams. So we are the mother. We can say like that. Who is dreaming, no problem. So there is a rest in that, right? Resting.
but you take care of the one, or you heal it psychologically or physically, and it can help you to realize the one area of
Realize the one.
quicker.
You want to realize the one now.
I know that I'm already, but without a healthy body or mind, probably I will not
Yes,
find out
Yes.
so quickly or easily.
exactly. There was a Swami Prajnampad. He was Indian Swami, and he was famous in France. He had a number of French teacher afterwards.
Arnaud de Jardin.
So, yes, exactly. So Swami Prajnampad was saying, first from abnormal to normal, to make something reasonable, and then you can speak about quest, spiritual quest. But if you are too abnormal, then it will be difficult. I don't say I support this 100%, but I'm just repeating what he said to support what you said, because I don't totally support what he said. Why? Because it can happen in the worst guy on the planet too. It happened. It did happen, right? With Mila Repa or people like that, like robbers or killers. Or it happened. So it's not a fixed rule also. But for most of us, to be reasonably normal.
Like Baron Katie was completely dysfunctional.
Yes.
And
Really?
Yes.
Eckhart Tolle was a little bit depressed. Just
Yeah, I love Eckhart Tolle. I'm less. I like it when I discovered at that time, but Baron Katie, I like it. I know people here, Cesar or Carl, did not like her too much, but I like her because the work is very effective. I use it in session. It helps you to get rid of from abnormal to normal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But some teacher want to speak only 0 to 0, but I want to speak to anyone. If you need that help, it can be there too. Like Ramana, he was like this. It can be in silence, self-inquiry, yoga, this, So why not the work of Bharanketi? Adyashanti is also publicly supporting Bharanketi, Adyashanti. In his talk, he say, yes, it's very good if you want to use the work, and I'm like him, I support it. It's good. I know when I was in Karl talk last year, I spoke about her, and everybody laughed. The old Papaji people and stuff. Oh, Bharanketi. No, it's very effective. You did it too?
Yeah, very good.
It's very effective. But they love because Karl is killing everyone, including himself or Bharanketi, so it's fine. And I told him, I read the Diamond Sutra, commentary on the Diamond Sutra of Bharanketi, and I said, it's not different from what you say. I told him in the talk, in the satsang, there were 200 people maybe, or 150 or whatever. But then everybody laughed. But I was not feeling shame or anything. But he said, yes, but anyway, I have to kill everyone, including this one, he said. But for me, I don't know if you read this one, the commentary is the mind at peace with itself, is the same space. For example, she speak about this extract from the Diamond Sutra, and one is, he speak, when the Buddha say, or they say sometimes that you need to free all the living beings before to be free yourself. But when you realize you are not, you're already free. Then every being are seen as not existing. So when you go to Nirvana, everybody go to Nirvana. When you realize Nirvana is here, you see that the no is not real. So everybody is in Nirvana right now. Everybody is the self.
Also, I listened to Osho's commentary on Diamond Sutra, and it was just fantastic.
I did not.
No, it's really worth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're interested.
Yes, there is some good, because also some people criticize a lot Osho. Some stuff I may like, some part, but
that's quite. I mean, like there's
specific.
The discourse and then the questions. The questions he's answering people, but the discourse. It was the first discourse series I listened to, and for me, it's just pristine.
Yes, it's not all bullshit, but the part of where people were stuck with Osho, and I have a very good friend of me now who was there too, and so it's very interesting because I was studying where is something wrong, you know. So now I see what it is. When you do like Osho or other stuff with the intention to heal, you go into the movement and you're going too far already. But if you rather abide as yourself and don't mind if there is a fear or any emotion, but the existential fear, you don't run away from yourself. But you don't go toward, you don't go in the game of push and pull. And in some therapies, going too much in the game and push and pull of the mind, and then you can stay stuck on because there is a tendency to want the sculpture to be more perfect, and when will it end? But if you cut it just by being what you are now and letting whatever, but you are not entering the game of push and pull. It's like a seeing of the tendency of avoiding to be here. Does it make sense? Little bit. I see it like this, 50%. But for me, it's different because when you're in a relationship and you want to heal a wound, you have an intention to heal a wound. This is the main stuff between a relationship. Usually, it's opposite wound, or it can be, but in fact, it's the same wound. It's the wound of existing, the fear of existing and of separation, right? So we all have the same wound, but it appears in different colors, blue, green, yellow, like that, right? But in a relationship, we have to work on it. We have to do this or that. Maybe at the beginning, to go from abnormal to normal. But at some point, if you don't stop, you might go on working on the sculpture forever, and it will never end. It will never be perfect enough. But at some point, if you realize that you're already here, when you have this seeing somehow,
Mm.
and then you don't move. You let the so it may heal or not by itself the one, but you don't have the intention to heal it. That is the catch, the difference between the Osho stuff or thing like this, or just to be here.
Mm.
When I asked to Gangamira 2 years ago, she told me, she replied me, no, nothing to do, but it was right, but not enough for me to understand. I had to understand. Now I am explaining you more, I think more clearly, but it was the right answer, but not explained. But now I can explain the difference, and that's for me very important.
Mm.
Can you say again? What's the difference?
One is black, the other one is white. No, no. From zero you don't move, right? So the one is moving in the illusion of time and space. But so if an emotion, a wound, for example, you have a wound of rejection, it is there. Oh, you don't run away, you don't push it or pull it. You see, you are in this self-inquiry or awareness of that, and you see it, or you experience it, but you don't try to run away with neither pull or push. You don't have an intention to heal it also. You're just here. But on the other hand, if you try to go towards that wound to heal it, and that it has to disappear, you're entertaining the game, putting oil on fire. I mean, it can work to some extent, but we might be caught up in the non-ending sculpture game. To sculpture, to make it more and more no vasana at all. But the shortcut, the direct path, is to see that the moment you see the moment which is not in time and space, the moment you see that what you are does not need that to go, it may go by itself, but your job is over. Your job is over, so in the dream it may happen as it likes, but you don't have an intention that it is different. But the main thing is to not run away. Because when you have a wound, whether it's pull and push, so if it is a pull, so it's a fear of rejection, or push, it's also maybe you push because you're afraid to be rejected, so it's a security, but it's the same wound. Everybody has the same wound, basically, because it's based on separation. So it's on controlling, grasping, or pushing. It's the same game.
So you could say that just that seeing, being with, awareness of, without the intention to do something, that in itself is seeing, without
enough.
doing it.
Then you don't go into the idea of healing it. That makes a difference for me. It's here. I am experiencing right now, I say, in a relationship. And we are very much tuned on that we have this kind of, because she was with Osho also, so she knows very much. And so not going into that game, because it's...
How do you suggest people to come into contact with that primal fear that you mentioned?
Just to be here. Not to try to come in contact, but when it comes, it's not going towards anything.
I mean, that will, so just will present itself automatically.
Yes.
By being
through a circumstance. You're in a relationship, then your wound is activated, then it is here. You cannot deny you have not been searching for it. It is here. But then what is your attitude? Are you running away, pushing or pulling? You see the tendency of pushing and pulling, because that's the nature of the mind, push and pull. And the wound, the primal wound, is connected with that first. Push and pull, rejection or like that. So it's very much connected with the first separation, the illusion of separation. So self-inquiries, you are here with that wound, and it might feel like burning or whatever. But if you don't have the intention for it to go, then it might cool down, and the fire may be cooler. because you're not running away. Because the devil is bigger when you keep your attention out on the object than the I, and the devil becomes stronger. And or whatever the wound or what you experience. But when you don't, you dare to look it in your eyes, it may do whatever, it may change into nectar. Or what, it depends on, it's not in our hand. But the idea is not to run away, to say, I've been running away enough, I am in the seeing of the tendency of avoiding. And you can feel in the body, if you have some wound, you can feel it can happen more in the mind, emotion, physically, different for everyone. But something is coming. Your partners tell you something and you feel triggered. But you don't. You see just seeing the tendency of avoiding to be there with that. But not trying to heal it without intention, just to not run away. That's enough. Because you know you are the ultimate medicine yourself, which does not need to be healed. So with that strength, wounds or other stuff can come, joy, happiness, sadness. If you don't run away from anything,
encountering and passing through that primal fear, and that would be like what people talk about the death experience, right?
Can you speak like
it would be like the what people call the death experience, encountering the primal fear without running away, but just being with it, facing it, without intention, and then it will get neutralized. So wouldn't that be what they call facing death, dying before you die, this type of thing?
Yes, because the illusion of dying, the fear of dying is very much within the I, first I. But as long as you run away from it, you make it real. Because the I, and it's a nice game, because the one is running away from itself, is fearing to watch itself and the fear, and by doing so, he confirms its existence because it doesn't want to die. So it's a catch-22.
Do you think there's a kind of agenda built into it, like to stay alive?
To stay alive.
It actually has an agenda
to stay alive.
Stay alive.
And then also he keeps his attention out. To keep alive, because the aliveness of the I is to have attention. What we are as zero is attention which does not need attention, right? It's an attention which is not going out or in, out of time and space. But when attention, the absolute attention that we are, is expressed, then it's a movement. That's how the I is created. And by going out in this game of illusion of time and space, its existence is believed to be true, right? Then he has to sustain it to keep the dream real. So it's a self-sustained dream, existence. So do I exist? Is that true?
Do I exist?
I exist. Is that true? You can do the Baron Katie game questions, for example. I exist. This is the base. Because the I doesn't want to put that question on because he's scared. But if you are ready to take that, I exist. Is that true? This is self-inquiry. And within that I, embedded all this fear, not this one. So everything is within that, let's say like that. So it's about not running away. And it's not necessarily, it can be nice, it can be like a nectar, it can be like burning, whatever. But when your sense, your will to not run away is strong enough, because you have the strength, also the awareness of being the indestructible self. So without this awareness, we may say, we know that the worst wound or worst whatever, fear, the first wound is the fear and the sense of separation. So we fear to lose the other one, fear to disappear, to die. So it can be not comfortable. But if you will to see face to face what is what, then you don't mind. Because it's just, if sometimes, let's say it's fire, it's experience as fire, then at the same time there is this awareness that fire cannot burn you. And you see it as an appearance in the dream. Then the fire is not. If you resist, then it's putting oil on the fire, then the fire is more and more because you don't want it to be there.
If you believe that the fire has a power to burn you.
Yes, exactly.
So and then even if we're like apparently caught in the dream of the one, and we think we don't experience the zero, which is illusion. But do you feel that a firm intellectual conviction is helpful? Like if I like say I'm experiencing tremendous fear and the whole body shaking, whatever. But if I have that clear understanding, no, this is not real, this can't burn, then that gives some strength, some support to stay steady.
Yeah, but to some extent. But a stronger one is to not catch the thought, to stay here and to not catch any thought. Not even that one. That would be even stronger.
That would be better.
You don't catch anything. Not this one. You're that now, and you stay here and you don't catch anything.
But before we come to that moment of self-awareness, we might already kind of be out, so to speak.
Yes, but when you come back, you say, "Oh, I've been dreaming." That's all, and you don't judge yourself. You don't say it should not have happened. You don't grasp that thought because it's like underlying thought. It should not have happened that I came back to the dream, right? But if you don't get that thought again, you don't go into the game at all.
I look forward to, in the barricade at that stage, I'm willing to, and I look forward to, like inviting the thing we fear or resist to neutralize that resistance. You remember that step in the barricade?
In which
first is the questions.
Yes, I know.
Then the turnaround.
As the turnaround, yes.
And then the last step is, like say, my judgment was on Douglas, or say that this.
You turn it around,
Peter,
opposite, yes.
He's a whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn it to yourself. And then I'm willing for Peter to do such and such again. I look forward to Peter doing such and such again. This is the last step.
So, as I understood it, for me is you put a statement. She should not have done that, for example. Whatever. But then it's a program, believe in the mind. Then you will take it like a child, to show to the mind, like a child, that this belief is not true, or is not more true than some other beliefs. So you show the opposite, and another one turn around. And then to see that none of them are absolutely true. Then they disappear, and it's like you may need this to go from abnormal to normal, as Swami Prajnapada was saying. But at some point, you don't need to go through the 4 questions. Even she said, I don't do also. Just, is that true? Is enough. A thought appears. You see, it's a thought. Just to see it's a thought, it's enough. You see what I mean? But you can do it and see how it works for you. And after, it's the same as neti or self-inquiry. Is that true? I would put it all in inquiry category, but different way of approaching. But it's not different. Neti, who am I? Am I? Is that true? It's all inquiry. Baron call this inquiry. Ramana call who am I? Inquiry. And she starts from questioning the thought, but then she's going at some point, because people might not be ready to go to the who am I or whatever. But then at some point she says this I, she comes to the same as Ramana. So this questioning the existence of that I. So inquiry on I is going straight to that subject. The work of Bhakti is a preliminary work.
Preliminary?
Preliminary work.
We can say an easier word, preparatory.
Yes.
Easier pronunciation.
So it's not bad.
But because she starts with the bought into the mind stuff, then it's it's accessible to a broader range of people.
Exactly. And that's what, if the first book, I came here in 94 the first time, and I read the book Be As You Are from David Goldman on Ramana Maharishi. And this book is made in such a way that you see the first chapter is silence. If you're ready to, the zero recognize itself somehow. Otherwise, second step is self-inquiry. Then if not, maybe meditation. If not, maybe this, that. So it's going crescendo like this, according to your ability where you are. So he was speaking to everyone. So we could do like this, and now we could put the work of Byron Katie somewhere. But it's not less bad than meditation or pranayama. And Ramana was encouraging pranayama for some people, and this to quiet the mind, to make it from abnormal to normal, right? So, and I feel like that speaking simultaneously from 0 to 0, whoever can catch it, fine. Otherwise, you can give some tips for the one, but 0, 1. You're clear that it's all for the one.
Because although we can't make a formula of what it is, although we might not be able to make a formula of what it is that allows someone to hear that direct point,
yes,
but nevertheless, there's some threshold or something that some people will be able to hear it, and others at that not yet able to hear it.
Yes, and it's also at the same time when you can speak 0 to 0 and 1 to 1 at the same time. It's underlying. So it's like satsang is like you talk 1 to 1, but something is happening underneath, right? So even someone is not at all aware, ready, or whatever, and suddenly, you don't know, you just speak 1 to 1, but something is at the same time, you see? So it's like that. Unasked. Then suddenly, like this. So it's, I would say, any practice for the one, or even talking in talks, satsang, is an excuse. It's an excuse to bring attention from the one, to keep the mind, like you do for meditation, you know, or self-inquiry. You bring attention from object to subject, right? You pull the string of attention. Satsang is also the same. Attention of anyone is scattered, you bring it back here. It's like a hook. So attention is there. And then 0 might do his business in a way, to speak. But it's an excuse. An excuse to, as Ramana said, it's for sport, right? But without intention also. But in the dream, there is an intention in the dream that the person might do this practice or this practice, coming from abnormal to normal.
Somewhat normal.
Somewhat normal.
Reasonably.
But this is all for the one. This is, for me, very important to make it clear that also some teachers don't do that. But to make it clear from the beginning, it's all for the one. What you are does not need anything of that. And it doesn't, you need to be either in this or that. I say both at the same time. Both are true, and they are not separate. You're the one dreaming to be you're the 0 dreaming to be the one who needs to reach something or to be free from something. It's a game anyway,
So if it's a game, so you are here to teach us, or Ramana, those enlightened people. I mean, the teachers, they make effort to help people to understand that this is part of the game.
They make effort, but for myself, I don't feel I do effort. I feel it's a movie unfolding. This actor is part of the movie, and I have no power, because you see, before to give talks, people would think, should I not, and this, but at some point, question disappear, and it's happening. There is no question. It's happening. And some people need the support of a teacher, that their teacher tells them to give talks, and some don't. Carl didn't need, Baranakati didn't need, I don't need. It depends on people. Adyashanti needed a teacher to tell him. It depends. There is no rule. But for me, I feel I don't need an authority of a teacher. I feel self-authority, not ego, but self-authority, because it's there. And it's not better or worse, it's just different. And it's fine. A teacher would have told me to teach, I would say yes or no, I don't know, but now it felt like automatic. And it comes spontaneously. Because I feel that space and it's like this, what to do. It's like I cannot avoid. It's like I felt I cannot avoid. It's my,
You have
it's
to
in
do
my,
that.
it's my, in
automatic.
this pattern of this life of this character to do that, and so at some point there is no this, but then at some point you see there is no choice. You have no choice.
When that came to you, like in a timeline?
Sorry?
When that clarity came to you with this doubt or
Yes,
disappear?
and now there is, especially since few months. I had an operation 2 months ago from hernia, and I remember there was in France, and I was before to go on the table, I had this thought. It's a thought, but the feeling also that I don't care if I woke up or not. It was equal to me. I had no preference. And there was some complication after this operation. I went back to the emergency, and this could not eat, but there was some stuff happening at that time, and yes, some strength and some other happening in my family. Kind of, yes, some this self-authority is not ego. It's like it's like unexplainable. And yes, and then it's all good, you know.
In the Buddhism, they have this small vehicle and large vehicle. So the small vehicle, if you may take care of yourself and find out you are the zero, then it's fine. The large one, you need to help others to wake up. So,
But where are others? When you see that there is no I, where are others? This is what I told you before in the Diamond Sutra. When I is seen as a dream, then this is nirvana. Then all other eyes are also in nirvana simultaneously. The who is there to be saved. When I is seen as a dream, then there is nobody to save.
yeah, I hear that the nights that I know the night practice, but a lot of people, they haven't
Believe that.
known.
Yes, but
That's
they are
also
still in the
a
dream.
thought, yeah.
They are still in the dream. For me, I don't see like this. I don't need what you are does not need any help. The one might dream to be not free or need liberation, right? But I see clearly that what you are does not need any help. So there is no pretension that nirvana is already there. Even I see the one is like Balanketi is pretending to suffer or what, but what you are is nirvana itself. So it's seen as there is no others from the zero point of view, right? It's again depending from where you speak. But as a one, it appears like you're helping a one, right? It's a difference. That's why I use the 0 and 1 to make it clear from where you speak.
So those compassion and love, is zero. There's nothing there. That is just concept. It doesn't need that.
Yeah, it depends. Again, there can be like compassion, which is absolute compassion, which is not, or compassion which is relative. But I would say
There's no subject.
compassion
An
is an
object.
idea. You know, compassion is an idea. It's a notion. So it's a notion. To say compassion, we need to go into the mind. But in zero, you cannot. What is compassion for zero? For the self. I don't understand your language. What is compassion? I don't know. The self is not knowing, right? The self cannot know itself, so he cannot know what is compassion. It's like the children. You ask him to a small children, what is compassion? He says, what can I speak? Let me play with my toy. Something like that, maybe. Compassion is for the one. You need to know what is compassion and to practice compassion or to be kind or whatever. This is all for the one. But zero doesn't understand anything of this strange language.
That's why the zero get bored.
No, it's neither bored is another notion. It's neither bored or not bored. Any principle you put, any notion is opposite. You put them together and you see them as untrue. Nothing can penetrate the zero. Nothing. It's like a non-space. What can you put in a non-space? Zero. Nothing.
Yeah, but when only
Not even nothing. Even nothing you cannot. Nothing cannot penetrate a no notion space.
yeah, the zero is so good that why they produce this one.
Sorry.
I mean, when,
No, it's fine. But sometimes I am.
yeah, when there's only zero, there's everything is nice. Yeah. Then they made this one just to like pray. Yeah. Like
Play,
to
yes,
pray,
exactly,
yeah.
yes.
And that's why it's that because there's no love, no compassion, no one.
No notion.
That's why, yeah, that's why it made something
Exactly.
to pray.
To experience love. But when you experience love, you may experience hate also. It's opposite, right? Because once you have an experience, you may experience the opposite too. But it was created to have an experience, but with all the pair of opposites. And at some point, you may want to demystify it and see it's a dream. You lose yourself in the dream to experience it as real because it's a game. So the self is playing the game to be an actor and lose itself in the dream. And sometimes you want to have a break. So
But then we have dream characters like tomorrow is somebody's birthday, right?
Ramana.
No, that's today. Tomorrow Jesus.
Tomorrow Jesus.
All right.
Yes.
So here's another dream character, but that seems that dream character was expressing tremendous love and compassion.
It seems so, but these all thoughts. What is real for us now, for you now? This is what in Advaita we say. What is not here now is not what appears and disappears is not real. So this thought is coming from somewhere. It's appearing and disappearing, but the self is the self or reality is what has no beginning, no end, no appearance. So it's beyond any description. So even the idea that Jesus was like this, like that, is still in the dream. What is the reality of it now? You see? So the self is prior to any idea of love or anything.
Sure. But within the dream,
Yes.
Love may manifest a love that's not a dualistic love.
In the dream? But
Like if I love you
mhm.
because you're pleasing my expectations, and then next moment you're not, then I hate you. Like that's dualistic.
Yes, exactly.
Conditional love.
Yes.
Then we're talking about unconditional, non-dualistic love even within the dream.
But then it's not within the dream, because the dream is conditional. Or maybe you're gonna have you can consider some state of consciousness where you can be in a similar unconditional love, but if it is a state of consciousness, then it may shift again. But the real, without any condition, the absolute, then if you want to call it love, but I won't call it love because it's too confusing with the love which is depending on the circumstance or like this. So I would prefer to say like the Tao, which cannot be described, not even love, because love there is too much concept attached to it. So then we go in the grasping and feeling and this and that.
Okay, another question.
Feeling.
Another question. You said that since 2 months, that clarity, self-authority,
Not since 2 months. It's like
something it crystallized somehow, or it just came into.
Yeah, but it has been before also.
Okay.
But recently there was a strength somewhere. Yes.
So how, like maybe for you now, the question doesn't arise, but how do you know that won't change also? That there might be some wavering.
What would change?
That certainty of self-authority.
But it's not. I said that, but it's not. I would not grasp in it. If it's something, anything, I don't trust it. What can come? Unclarity? It happened to me this afternoon. I did not sleep much, and in the day I was feeling little not too clear. But it was the body mind. What the self has nothing to do with that.
So that clarity of distinction is there for you between the zero, the self, and the body mind and all its changing states and such forth.
There is something which is unexplainable, that even if there is clarity or not, or absence of presence, awakening or dreaming or deep sleep, you are that anyway, in spite of any states of clarity or non-clarity, absence of presence, deep sleep. So it's like prior to any of this.
Right.
But so I want to tell you something. Or you want to. Another thing I saw also is that why awakening and enlightenment is an illusion. Because if somebody can enlighten or awaken, who would that be? The one who became zero? It's not. But even let's say it's possible. Let's take it. Let's say the one becomes zero. Okay. Then the zero, can the zero prevent itself to be one again? So if someone pretend he is realized as zero, then this zero cannot prevent itself to manifest. Even at the moment I say I'm realized, the self is already manifested in this, as in the dream. So it's myself, it's not another self in this form. Is it another self in this form? If I pretend to be awakened and not there, then something is wrong. So enlightenment is a dream. So even the self, which I am, is simultaneously in clarity and in an ant, in Indra, the god, in a bull, in a robber. This is all myself at the same simultaneously. So how can I pretend to be somewhere stable forever? Which self is that? Who can pretend that? No, this is me. And where?
But prior to that understanding, that clarity, there was identification as individual one.
And it can come back.
Yeah, that's the point.
And the self, even when this body finish, the self which I am will continue to be manifested in the dream as worms, bull, robbers, killers, Hitler. Hitler is myself too. The self too manifesting in the dream. So where is the final enlightenment? For whom? For one pretending to be finally enlightened forever? Where does it stand? In the dream. So enlightenment can be only in the dream. Because the zero cannot prevent to express itself. So there is no enlightenment. And that's freedom.
Who's having this dream?
We can say enlightenment is the end of the dream of non-enlightenment.
Yes. Because you see, you are that which does not mind to go back to ignorance because it is this nature. So that's why I don't mind to be with clarity or not clarity, or to be an ant, because even now I am that. I am the worst killer now.
Like I notice in just in the background of my mind, whatever, like this, because there's like you said, it's a process, and then you have your aha moments, and it's very clear and strong, and it's so there's that thought, like referring to myself, which of course is the one that self-knowledge can be there, but then there's a little doubt, but then the ignorance can come back.
Yes, but if you don't mind.
That's the thing, that not mind.
Yeah, because there is a preference.
There's something here minds.
Yes, there is a preference, right?
Yes.
But if you don't mind being in clarity or not, this is a freedom. You don't mind because the self is independent, right? So maybe either you are in clarity, ignorance, or in a ant, or in a dog, It's already happening anyway. You're already a dog, a ant, and millions of worms at the same time, millions of parasites. You are all that now. So how can you expect to be enlightened? It's a joke. This one, someone pretend it can be enlightened, but the self is all that dream. So it's not. It's yes, there is enlightenment in the dream, but for what we are, it does not mean anything.
So there's a dream, and then who's having the dream? So obviously I don't exist, so it's not I am having a dream.
Zero,
Zero.
is an absolute dreamer.
The
You can
zero
call
having a dream.
absolute dreamer. We can call like that. But now we are going in a space which is difficult to describe because you can say zero is dreaming. We say it's for convenience, right?
Yeah, it's not just dreaming, like, because if I'm not the doer, then something move those things. It's not I do it, yeah. Something, there's a power or something move it.
Shakti.
Yeah.
Shakti
Shakti.
power, the energy.
Yeah, the energy. So the energy? So it's kind of a rule of the game.
Energy is
There's
the first,
energy.
the
move
first
a
power,
dream.
you know, who came out of the absolute or the I. It came in the tradition I was in. I still do have sound and this inside. I've been doing this 20 years. And this first sound or the word is the Shakti, the first impulse. So when, or we can say the first lingam, but it's energy anyway. So lingam needs a space, the vagina of the to penetrate, and then create all this. But yeah, if you want to make it simple, is the self, which is prior to energy, prior to Shakti. The self is, we cannot even call it energy. It's prior. It's untouchable. But then came out this word, light and sound. And this is the start of the game with I. Because when the first light came, like I exist. The first God, the creator. And this creator God has created all these other I's and gods. But the self is prior to that even. I mean, it's not prior to that, it's just that we cannot talk about it. To make it simple, I like Lao Tzu, we cannot talk about it. Right? We try to point around, but we cannot. And that's so good because we are that which cannot be touched by anything, which cannot be described. This is the highest, what we are is the highest security. Because nobody can cut, kill, do anything. This one, yes. So then, what we do from there? It's just happening by itself. You are just sitting, not moving as a zero self, but not minding that there is a movie going on. And you see all this. It makes a different perspective because you see all the search of the I and all practices as part of the game. Because when you take it seriously, I have to go out of the wheel, and you are like the hamster who really want hard to go out. Well, practice, this, that. I will make it. One day I will make it.
You were like this one time. You were like
yes,
that.
yes, exactly. But that's why because we go through that and we can see it.
So even if I realize I'm the zero, I can't stop this dream because the dream is still there.
Yes, but it's seen as a dream. It is seen as an appearance. But what you can do sometime kind of practice. Another tip I'm giving you.
But then have I and also a dream. Then it's not only one.
This part of the dream too. This separation is part of the dream. One and one and one and one.
If I can realize that's a dream, then it's not the same.
If what? If
in the zero, there's only one thing. Yeah, no. But now, even if I'm a zero, I still no, the dream is going on.
Yes.
And so it's not just the complete one thing. That still have subjects, objects.
Yes, but you don't mind this. If you mind it and you want it to disappear, then you are caught in the illusion that the one can stop the wind.
Can I stop the dream?
No. So, but as a self or zero, you don't mind the wheel to turn because you see it's just a dreamed wheel turning. And by not minding it, it's seen as samsara empty and it is nirvana. Then samsara and nirvana is same. No difference. But if you try to fight and to go out, then you entertain, you confirm the samsara existence by wanting to stop it. But it is necessary at some point to have this fire for freedom, to go to that direction. For most people, not everyone. It can happen also in some crazy way, maybe, but like few people, like we mentioned before. But usually, it's like you have to struggle and to try to make it, and to try and try and try until you see that nothing is working. Because whatever you do is within the will. And when you are absolutely failing, then you say, I will never make it. Ajashanti also happened to him. He was sitting in a wall, in front of a white wall for many, many years. And then one day, he was over practicing. And one day, he was in, I don't know if he was in tears, but he was so fed up, he said, I can't do this anymore. He reached that point of total failure. And then that's the same thing.
But he did like a Herculean effort over many
Sorry?
He did a Herculean effort over many years.
Yes.
And very few people would be up to that kind of level of effort. If that's what's required to burn yourself, to burn out the doer, you know. Very few people.
Yeah, for many years, I was meditating 8-10 hours a day for a long time. So I tried. So I don't know. No need to compare anyone or anything. It's different for anyone. But anyone. But every story is different, and it's already dreamed. It seems to appear, but it's there already. It's already there in the eternal now. It's not in the future. It seems to be in the future, but the future is in the eternal now. So everything is here already. So your story is already here. So it doesn't matter for what you are. You don't need to copy. I had also this, I need to copy. I had this model of Ramana, this, that. But now, it's really seen that I don't need any model. Because every story is different. You don't need to copy-paste anyone. You just have to realize zero, you are that already now, and the story doesn't make any difference. So people are like, comparing Ramana as the highest, and still stay in that Ramana. And for example, some people react. People like me talking like that.
Yeah,
why he's doing
like me coming in like, oh, he's a guy I met in the street, he's just a normal guy. And now he thinks he's getting that stuff.
You see the reaction? I know this reaction because I had them too.
Yeah.
But now you see the point of view. It might seem different now because I don't put any. I thought also Ramana made it and this and that, but now seen from here, there is no difference. No, absolutely no difference.
On the level of zero.
Yes.
But the manifestation is different.
Yes, but it doesn't matter because I'm interested by what I am.
Dream
not
characters.
Sorry?
The dream characters are different.
For me, it doesn't matter.
It's a
I don't
sport.
care if somebody. The other day, I am in a kind of relationship with someone, and in the chai shop in front of Ramana, we had a clash, but I don't mind. I don't try to hide and to pretend to be a saint. That is the advantage. You know? Because there you have to walk. Sometime last year I was seeing a guy, I said, oh my God, he was walking like that with 3 disciples.
Yeah.
If I had to be like this, I would be in hell. I can do anything. I don't mind being upset or whatever. And it's better for me. I like it.
Well, yeah, you were.
I don't want to be in their spot, in their place. They play the game. Huh? Sorry.
Yeah, you were saying the communication is 0 to 0 and 1 to 1. So the 1 to 1 is strong like this. I find the 1 to 1 is really weak if it's a big satsang and the person's like a saint and everyone you speak to is going on about all these stories. It needs to be kind of normal rather than someone like rather say like Prem Baba or Muji. You know what I mean? Everyone worships them and they're like saints and
Sri Muji, and then I would
but
call
Sri
it
Muji G. Why does he need two fucking G's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So it'll be like Punja G or whatever the fuck. That is. But
That's why.
it makes a big separation. So
Exactly.
and most of those people they're really angry. You know what I mean? It's like if they see someone giving a satsang who was Muji's disciple. A lot of people are like they're really angry about that when they see the poster. You know,
the same. I was for some time with Gangamila, not much, but some people they don't come, but we say, "Who is this guy?" You know, I see the game, but they don't know what is there. But judge, the mind is there, and say, "No, but I don't care. I'm not here for." I know any people who come here ask to be here. That's all, and I don't have to catch this apple. People who are going there or there because no, it just is whatever.
Because I always thought that's why most of Osho's people who woke up, they always had other teachers because he seems like a saint. You know what I mean?
A saint.
Yeah, like Osho seems like a saint. So it seems like most of his people, if they ever woke up, it was always with Papaji. Like I've never seen anyone who's an Osho disciple giving satsang. They always went to Papaji or someone else because the transmission from 1 to 1 doesn't really exist with Osho. It's just like he's like the universe, the zero. You know.
So about this guru and teacher, for me, I know that Karl Renz is speaking about that there is need of a teacher for I am next teacher, the power of now or awareness, but from the fourth state, which is not a state, or we could or beyond any state. I will not go in the seventh state. They speak about like Karl or Nisargadatta. But just to make it simple, what you are, the zero, the self, then there is no, the game of guru is done, over. So that for me, it can be taken as a teacher or guide, but for me, from where I see, there is no higher or lower. No higher or lower. It can be perceived. I'm sure some people are sitting there, they can perceive something higher or something, but it's perception. For me, what I see is there is no high or low.
But that's why you say compassion is just a thought.
Compassion or high or low. High or low is just from the mind. So if you see, if I continue to give talk and people see this as high, it's from the mind. But from 0 to 0, there is no high or low. There is no difference. But people make it like this, either people who come to the talks or the teachers entertain that. And that's the Sri stuff and so on. But what is more complicated, there is some good stuff in it also. People are helped, but there is some kind of little poison in it. And it happens. So have to be always watchful. Watchful of this eye and So please, if you one day I ask you, may I beg you something? If you see I call myself Shri something, then you cut my head.
Okay, yeah.
No, I see. But for example, I use this Indian name Satyam because it happened in a way. It happened in Rishikesh. I was crossing the river and I was going to Gangamela talk 2 years ago, and on the boat, an Indian, a Japanese guy he asked my name. He said, "What is your name?" I said, "Frank." Then from his mouth came Satyam, and I felt it was straight coming. So I don't know. I received like Ganga
Really?
speaking,
Oh.
the river or whatever, so something. It was, and I like it, and that's all. And I know like some guys like Caesar does not like this. He's laughing a lot on people. This spiritual makeup and the spiritual names I don't like. But I think there is a borderline. Then if you start to say Sri Satyam Ji Maharaj or something like that, no. But I think for me it resonates, and I feel, and most people say to me, yes, it fits you well, and it's like I don't know, but I'm not more. I mean, it's a question of borderline. I think. For me, I have nothing against your birth name or Indian name. But it's the intention behind. If there is a intention of being something or something like that. This is what could be expressed. But why not? You know, some people cut hair. It does not make any difference for the self. If you want to change, some people change their sex too. Why not? It's also the self expressing itself. If you change your name, why not? It depends if there is an intention of being higher or something like that, and ego is there. I feel also, I like it because it's soft. Satyam is soft. In French, franc is hard, you know. So Satyam is more cool also. So why not? Why not? And it came in a way that it was not given by a guru or just like that, and why not? It's more the intention behind which is important. I think if it is happening with ego, then anything else? Sharing or?
You have the orange.
Yeah, yes, we can. You want to share? You want some? Sure.
How to divide it?
No, we share together. No, I don't need the old stuff.
Oh, we got.
We share together, right? Can put this here. But while something is coming up. Otherwise, we don't need. But if something is coming up, some question, comment.
Oh, okay. Actually, no. I do have one question. Right, a lot of what you're talking about, in terms of purification, of asanas, it's from the subconscious. But sometimes the biggest distraction is like what you call psychic phenomena or higher chakra stuff. Like that really pulls me into the dream world.
These experiences.
Yeah, this type of experience, because I was getting them a lot, and because like where I live, I don't have anyone to speak to for guidance. So. Like if I can't sleep and I'm having experiences in the higher chakras, that's a huge pull away from what you're talking about.
Yes.
So what's your experience with that?
So, for me, it's because I've been confronted to that in my surrounding, in my last relationships or friends or whatever. I see it as an addiction to the Shakti game. It may come from past lives. And there is this taste of this Shakti in whatever form, experiences, things like this, entities like powers, CDs, Shakti games. It's an addiction, like a Vasana. It's a Vasana. So if you see it as so, and you see the tendency, like, I want an ice cream, I want this Shakti game. I want this experience. Something is yearning for that, is loving it, right?
Okay.
In spite of a part of you is seeing that it's not about it, not right.
Yeah.
But a part of you, the old stuff, is running after it or pulling it. But it's tendencies, old stuff. I've seen that in me, around me. But when there is this quest is to the real stuff prior to the Shakti game, is there, then your attention is not too much on that. It may happen then, but by self-inquiry again, who is the one who is liking it or attracting that? Who is the one? You put your attention to the one who is attracting these experiences. Who is the one? Does he not like it? Somehow? Is it not a part of you like it? If you're honest. Really
No,
honest.
if I'm honest, yeah, I like it, but it's not necessary.
You like it. So,
Yeah.
but what is important to see is there is a liking.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
You
I
see,
want
this
it.
is addiction, like heroin, cocaine, Coca-Cola, chai, or anything. But some addiction are more dangerous than others because they will keep you out. CDs also. Many people practice and they get CDs, powers, and it's very dangerous.
Okay, yeah.
All these CDs, Shakti, powers, all this energy game. This is all energy game in the dream. But when your sincere quest is for that, then you stop. You might sometime go, but you know what it is about. It's not about that. And for me, I had not too much trouble in this life for that. Not too much, some, but because I feel from before. So you arrive somehow. You know it's not about. It's like intuitive. You know it's not about that. But some people are very much caught into it. They have not yet seen it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it depends. So you're seeing that as a trap. But after you don't mind being as zero, you see what you are what you are, and then the game is going on. But there is the attraction for the Shakti games is seen.
Okay, yeah.
It's addiction, the taste for that, right?
That's probably more direct and ultimate healing.
Yeah.
Because if you heal it in a psychology way, then you go to workshop again and again, and it's still there because that's you just like it.
So self-inquiry, who is the one who is, put your attention on the one who is addicted to that. It's an addiction. But if you're truly sincere, you will see it as an addiction. Pleasurable stuff.
Yes.
Right? So it's
Something
an
to be
addiction.
excited about, yeah.
But you see it. You don't have to remove it, stop it. Again, no pull and push. Just seeing it as an addiction, a taste for it.
And seeing the downside.
The downside.
Yeah. Like,
Meaning,
The negative effects.
yeah.
it pull you away. It keep you in the dream.
Yeah, yeah.
The taste for it keep you out.
But that's the downside, right? So when
Yes.
when the attraction comes, if we consider the downside, it helps to not get sucked into the.
It's like when the eye is not seen, the eye is out, attention is from subject on object. When the eye is not seen and is empowered. But when it is seen, it loses its power. It's the same. So because the eye is the root of it all, and the Shakti game also. So when it is seen as a seed or the center of it, you keep your attention there, then it will lose its power. It gains power when your attention is out. You bring back your attention to the one, the self-inquiry, and you will see that the attraction for it may lessen or not, but it will be seen. That's seen.
That's enough.
Not trying to stop it, but seen as a fake.
Okay, yeah.
Just
I'm
Then-
going to bow out at this point because I want to go to the chanting. But
Yes, me too.
Nice to
Me too.
participate.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Can you remind me your name? I knew, but
Shiva.
Shiva.
Remember, we met with Alban at the front of Yogi Ashram, and we said, Shivam,
Yes.
Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram.
His name is Sundaram?
No, but maybe it should be.
Yes, Shivam. Yeah. No, Shiva or Shivam?
Shiva.
Shiva. Yes, I forgot that, but now I remember. My memory is not too good, but I can still deal with it.
Okay, yeah.
So we can stop here unless you have question, but we can stop here. Or you can go and then we see what we do together because you leave afterwards, right? Yeah. Okay. So Shiva, see you next time. So This, I will post this on Facebook, but you can have a look.
Okay.
I will just have a look, or you can take a picture. Or whatever. But I will take. So it will be from 2nd January. I make two plays, 2 times a week here, and in Pekumbaran Road, in my own place, or on the rooftop.
Berries are really
They get them?
Yeah, so
Is it sore or just? Oh no.
Did you bite you?
No, I'm only getting mosquitoes.
I will stop the recording. So